So let's talk about inherited sharing. It came a few releases ago, and here is the official documentation about it. So I went little curious about inherited sharing specifically because there is a little ambiguity about how it really functions, because the doc here says that an Apex class with inherited sharing runs as with sharing when used as Aura, VF, or a REST service, and any other entry point to an Apex transaction. So I was curious that will it really be with sharing context in all the entry points, or will the behavior will vary? And again, it was mentioned here that however, inherited sharing ensures that default is to run as with sharing. A class declared as inherited sharing runs as without sharing only when explicitly called from an already established without sharing context. So the example given here, and which is also I think available as it is in many other blogs which I found in Google, is the same one, Visualforce one, which is basically querying a bunch of contacts, and then this runs in a with sharing mode. So I decided I will put these few contexts like at a test, and will try the other entry points to an Apex transaction as well. So that's what this blog is all about, and that's our agenda this time, to explore the inherited sharing. Moving next, we will talk about the data and sharing model, which was developed to test this whole sharing model and inherited sharing piece. To explore the sharing and data model, let's go to a playground DevOps which I have created. First of all, I will show you a simple object called Apple, which was created to test this out. It's having the name field as an auto number, like this, APL, and then dash 1234 it will come, and then there are no other fields and anything. It's just a simple name field. The default OWD for this object is private, and then what we have done is we have created a bunch of users like this guy Krishna Karn. These are the standard system admin profiles. Then we have other custom admin profiles with some less permissions, and then to actually bypass all, view all, and modify all permissions, to really test the inherited sharing, I have created a custom standard user which just has the basic CRUD FLS permissions required to create the Apple records. So we'll mostly log in as this user, and we'll play around. And in the meantime, let me show you, I've created a bunch of records on the Apple table. So if I go here, and if I select, let's say, the name, and probably the interesting one is owner here. So if I pick the owner's name as well, and yeah, that's it. So if you see that owner is Arjun, Side, Bhim, Krishna, Arjun, Karn. So I've created a sample records via a bunch of users, so that we have a good variety of data, and we will be using that across our tests. Let's talk about the playground. It's a dev org which I created to show you the full demo of this inherited sharing. The most important bit for this whole playground is the sharing helper class, which basically prints out the logging information. So if I go to my VS Code, this is the class. It is having just a single method, which is print. It takes the entry point name, which is basically either of Aura, batch, schedule, trigger, or any invocable or REST, and then it prepares a report. So this report is just a string report which is meant for debug logs, and don't get upset with this kind of logic here. It is just a merging logic in which I'm making a inherited sharing open SOQL call to the Apple S object and trying to load name and owner name. And then I'm also loading all the records in a without sharing forced mode, just to make a comparison. that if without sharing is giving me 20 records, so what is inherited sharing giving? Is it 5, 10 records? And I'm trying to merge them together. So don't worry about it. We'll go to it later on. And more interesting thing is in the visuals. So if I take you to the home page. So this is our playground component. It is having different contexts: aura, batch, inbound, scheduled apex, trigger, and invocable combined, and then a RESTful apex endpoint as well. So what I will do going next is hit these buttons, and what we will do is we will go to the debug logs and observe what is happening. So we are done with the playground overview, and now let's go to the observations part. Let's review the aura behavior. Though this behavior is really well documented here, but to make sure our playground is working correctly, I'm going to start with that. So to do that, here we are logged in as a system admin, which I will avoid because they are mostly having this view all and modify all permissions. So I have two other users. This is custom admin Bhim, which is not having view all and modify all. And then I have this normal standard user Arjun. So we will probably start with them, and we can keep on switching to have a multi-user experience in this playground. So let's start with Arjun. I'm logging in that is that user. And in the meantime, let's open our debug logs. They are going to play an important role here. And I'm moving them to a new desktop to make it easy to review. Let's clean all the old logs, and let's make sure we have a trace config created for Arjun, and also a trace config created for Bhim. If I want, I can actually add them as a tab to view the logs easily as well. Like these are the recent logs, but let me clean them up to give me a clean slate without any confusions. So this probably is good now. Okay, and as we are on Arjun, I'm going here and starting a watch here as well. So I think we are good with setup on this part. This is logged in as Arjun. And the first experiment we are going to do is for aura. So let's go here and let's hit this fetch records method. So I've hit the button, and let's see what do we have in the logs. So I'm just printing the debug logs. So now as I was saying, don't worry about this sharing helper, this method. The report which is coming here is this one. So it says that the aura was the context which was passed in, Arjun was the user, and if you see it is running as an Arjun, so it can only see the limited records which Arjun has created, or Arjun is owner, because the sharing model is private. And notice that I have used the without sharing context to print out all the other records, but the aura access is blank here. The user can't see these records, it can only see the records with yes. So that means this is correct. This guy works in the with sharing mode, so the experiment is successful. And if you want a quick peek in the aura component and the logic, so this is the fetch records method, and it is calling the sharing helper, this class which I showed here, the print method, and it is passing the context as an aura. And similarly, I will show you more piece of codes, like we have a scheduled example. So everywhere we are using this sharing helper and passing the context, like there is a batch job coming up as well. It will also call the same method, but it will pass the right context. And the aura component is as simple as any aura component could be. So if you see this, this is our aura component, and all the standard stuff. There is nothing fancy to it. These are all the different methods, like I'm calling fetch records, which I have shown you here. This is the one which I'm using. So the end of this experiment means is that aura is definitely with. Next, let's review what happens when you run a batch. So let's go back to our playground and we are again logged in as Arjun, and let's start the batch. If we go to our debug log now, so the batch is already started and it completed quickly because there is nothing much to do. And then we have debug logs here, but before that let me quickly show you the batch code. So the batch class is dead simple. It is just passing this seed SOQL, which is select the name field from Apple, which doesn't matters, and then we are just printing it via the same sharing helper with the batch context. If you notice that this class is inherited sharing, and our Apple Taster controller, the Aura controller, is also inherited sharing. So the results, let's see what happens. So this should be the one. This is the serial batch chunk handler. So if we see here, this means that this is coming yes, yes, yes again only for Arjun. So that means batch also is running in a with sharing mode by default, and all the other users records there is no access to them. So that's good. Let's confirm that part as well and move to the inbound email. So to try inbound email handler, let me go back and let's give Arjun some rest. And let's try out inbound email handler as Beam. But before that, I want to show you a little bit details about inbound email handler, how I have done that. It's basically the same inbound email service configuration. There is nothing fancy to it. And like here it is. And the interesting thing is the context user for this email address which I have configured here is Arjun. So anything which is associated with this email address, like which is Apex class, it will run with the context of Arjun. And if I come back to users now, let's log in as Beam as we are giving Arjun some rest. And it will also give a little twist to the context that we are actually firing this stuff as Beam, but it will run as Arjun. So let's see the code as well for the inbound email handler. So if I search for email, so this is our inbound email handler, again all the standard class, nothing fancy, and I'm again calling the same sharing helper class and passing the context as inbound email handler. This is just a mock response for compliance with the interface. So let's see how this works. So now we are as Beam and I'm hitting this send inbound email. And to verify, let's come back to our this interface. So it actually got fired as Arjun because the context user is Arjun. And if you want to see everything together, so the Beam stuff got fired as an Aura, but we don't have anything here because it is just a normal Aura callout. We are not printing anything here. We are printing the stuff in the Arjun's context. So if we view the logs here and view this stuff, so we again see that this inbound email handler, it is working in the with sharing mode. This is good. So this confirms that this is also a with sharing context, which is nice. Now let's move to the scheduler one. Let's review the scheduler. So going back to playground, hitting the start scheduler button, and as it is running as Beam, so this seems that it's fired correctly. And in the meanwhile, the scheduler is running 2 minutes from now. That means it will take 2 minutes to come up. So here is the Aura method which is connected to this start scheduler button. It just deletes the previous cron triggers because it's a playground thing, and I just start the scheduler 2 minutes after the current time, and that's it. And if we see the schedulable class, this is again very simple. It is calling the sharing helper and passing the context as scheduled. And let's see if our job get fired. No. Okay, so the debug job so the scheduled job has fired. And if we see the logs now, so again it is firing as beam, and it says that the records are only coming yes, which is for beam. So that means the scheduled job is running in with sharing only, as it can't see any other user's record. So that makes scheduled also run in a with sharing mode. Next, let's review trigger and invocable. Let's go to our playground, and this is the place where we'll check the trigger and invocable. But before I hit this button, let me show you what is going behind the scenes. So this create records but method, the controller function, this calls insert apple, and it creates an apple record. This apple insertion fires a simple trigger which calls the sharing helper, and again it just passes the trigger context here. Apart from that, we do have a process builder on the Apple object. So here is the process builder which uh, gets fired whenever the record is created or edited, and it is having no criteria. It always executes because we are just in a playground mode, and it calls this invocable action on the Apple tester. So if we check this invocable action, it is here, and if you again see, it is just calling sharing helper and it is invocable. So again we are in inherited sharing mode, we have not changed anything, it's the same class. And let's see what happens in this case. This is the most interesting one. So I'm hitting the button now, going to debug logs. So now you see this context fetched 38 out of 38 records. That means the trigger is having yes next to everything. The logged in user is beam, but this is running in a without sharing context. But if you see the same invocable action, it is running as with sharing context because it just got 9 out of 38 records. It is just like before in a with sharing model, that yes is coming next to the beam's own records only. So that is a major difference between trigger and invocable action, because my assumption was invocable action will sort of behave same like as a trigger, because they are more or less used interchangeably these days. Like sometimes you write invocable action instead of triggers. So this is an interesting observation, that trigger is actually running in without sharing mode. So the observation is the triggers, they run in the without sharing mode. So triggers is without, and invocable is with sharing. So triggers is without and invocable is with sharing. Lastly, let's review the RESTful Apex, though the documentation clearly says that the REST Apex runs in with sharing mode, but just to quickly see, so we have exposed get and post methods. Let me hit the get one quickly. So I just press the button. If I go back and see the logs, so no. Okay, the interesting thing is this Apex REST service is exposed on a public sites. So the log will come as a site's guest user. So I have not configured that. Let me do that. So if I go here, I will site guest user, SFDC dev console, save. Probably add a tab for that to see the results. These are old ones. Okay, let's hit it again. Restcat and fetch logs. So now this came, and this came as sites guest user. Let's see what happens. And sites guest user is given required CRUD permission on that. So if you see, there are a bunch of records which I created for the site guest user. Only those records are visible to them. And again at top we also printed that only 6 records out of 38 which are mentioned here are visible to the site's guest user. So this is as simple as the document described, that it runs in with sharing mode. So if we conclude this research, then the most important observation is that not all the entry points run in with sharing mode. And I think here Salesforce meant that only when explicitly called from established without sharing context. So it is little ambiguous to me because triggers I know they are explicitly without sharing, but some people call them system mode, guard mode. So this means that trigger is without sharing. But I was hoping that invocable will be without as well because they are used almost like triggers in many situations because people don't like to write trigger these days. They write process builder and use invocable. So those who are writing invocable, if you are using inherited sharing, please make sure if you need access to whole data you use without sharing. Same is a general perception, not always, is with batch jobs that they run usually in God mode or system mode if there is no inherited sharing or with sharing is specified. But with inherited, it is with, and same is for schedulers also. So this is really good. Triggers for sure, they should run in without sharing mode. Invocable, take a note. Rest all is with sharing. That's all for this experiment. Hope you will like it. Thank you.